When you work with large Excel workbooks or worksheets, it's important to know some tips and tricks on how to efficiently cruise between the various tabs and work simultaneously with different workbooks. Here are 7 things you can do to make dealing with large files much easier to handle. Now let me take you through these. I've put here a list of the most useful ones. If you have a larger spreadsheet and you press Control Page Down, you move along your spreadsheets, and Page Up, you move backwards. If you have different workbooks open and you need to switch between them, you can hold down Control and then press Tab. And you can switch between different Excel workbooks that have been opened from the same Excel session. Control and Home takes you to the first cell, and Control End takes you to the last populated cell. The name box is this, and it's quite useful in jumping to different locations within the same workbook. So you can directly type an address in here. Let's say now I want to jump to cell B400. I type it here and I get to B400. I type A1, I come back here. You can also type addresses in this form, R for row, so let's say row 100, column 100. So R100, C100, and I get to CV100. Okay, let's use our shortcut key, Control Home, to go back. What you can also do is provide names to your cells. In this workbook, I've given a cell a name called back. If I type in back from anywhere and press enter, I jump back to the index page. And I've put it here. If you type back in the name field, from any tab you come here. Why? Because the name of this cell is back. And how do you name cells? You just go to any cell. So let's say we always want to jump to here. So this is my special table. This is how I give it a name. So you just type it in and you press enter. Now this cell, A74, is called special table. So wherever I am, I can type in special table, or I can select it from this list. And I jump to A74 in T10. If you have tables in your Excel spreadsheet, they're also named ranges. So you can select table 1 and you jump to that table directly. If I now want to jump to T3A1, I can type in T3A1. To delete named cells, you can go to Formulas. In Name Manager, you see the full list. Let's say I don't need this special table anymore. I can delete it. You can organize your tabs by dragging and dropping them, and you can also give them different colors to be able to differentiate between them and find what you're looking for faster. In this workbook, you can see that I've colored the tips in green and the formulas in blue. It's just my way of organizing this workbook. Just be careful that you don't overcolor things. To color your tab, you just right mouse click on it, click on tab color, and select the color that you want. You can also hold down Control and select more than one tab and change the color of those tabs. The existence of the tab menu is sometimes missed by some Excel users because it's not easy to get to. What it is if you right mouse click here, right here, you can get access to your tabs. So sometimes when you have a lot of them and they have longer names, so they basically go over and you need to always cruise in this way and this way, it makes sense to right mouse click and find it here. By clicking on more sheets, you get access to all of them so that you can easily jump to the tab you want. And don't forget, it's a right mouse click. When you have many rows and or columns of data, freezing panes is a very handy tool because it allows you to scroll down and across your worksheet while keeping your specified table headers and rows intact. If we go to a bigger table, here I have a table that we'll later on use for the pivot. If I want to move down here, but always be able to see my headers here, I go to the cell A4, click on View, and Freeze Panes. And now you can see that if I go down, I always see the part that's been fixed. To remove this, you just have to unfreeze. If I wanted to freeze this and this, I have to select a cell where I want to create my cut. So in this case, it would be this cell, and then I can click on Freeze Panes. And now you can see that this one is also frozen. So when I move this way, I can always see my row information. You also have the option to just freeze the top row or freeze the first column. When you're working with different spreadsheets, you can arrange them horizontally or vertically beside each other so you can easily move between them. To arrange different spreadsheets beside each other, you go to View and you click on Arrange All. You can decide how you want it to be arranged. In this case, I'm going to select vertical, and I get my second workbook here. If you do need to work on different workbooks pretty much at the same time, this is a good method. If you work with different tabs in the same workbook, you can also use this trick. First, you need to select New Window, and then click on Arrange All. And this way you can arrange the two different windows beside each other. In this case, I'm going to select vertical. And now I have opened two different sessions of the same workbook. You can see that the first session has this 1 in front of it, and this is my second session 2. And now I can go to a different tab. So this is something I do when I'm designing, let's say, dashboards or some reports where my data is in a separate tab and my report is somewhere else. So let's say we go to this tab here, and I want to create a report here and say my price is in fact this cell divided by this cell. I'm all in the same workbook, so if I would go back to T3 in here in my second session and scroll down, I can see the same thing. If I delete something from here, it deletes it from here as well. To close this window, you can just close this one and you're back to your main session. Creating a table of contents for your bigger workbooks is a great way of simplifying navigation for these workbooks, and it's quite easy. You can see that I've done it here in the index page, so I have the title of each of the tips, and I have created a hyperlink so that you can click on it and you get to the tab faster. To do this, you just have to create a hyperlink to the place in your document. So let's say I want to create a hyperlink to T8. We'll type in T8 here, right mouse click, hyperlink, select place in this document, and then find your tab here. So in this case T8, I can also decide if I wanted to jump to A1 or to a different cell in T8. So then when I click on it, I jump to T8 to A1. Now, if you have a bigger workbook with a lot of tabs and there is a certain logic behind them, so in my case, for example, I always have the title in cell A1, you can of course create a VBA that does this routine for you. What you can also do is to create hyperlinks to other external locations, like a website or a folder on the intranet. I insert a hyperlink. I can select existing file or web page. If it's a web page, I just have to type in the web address. So when you click this, it goes to my website. If you were linking to a place on the intranet, you'll just put in the address in here. If you were linking to a different file, you can find the file by looking it up in the directory here and clicking on the one that you want to link to.